Greetings, observers, and welcome to Aliens and Ghosts Live. This is a special episode dedicated to a tribute to John S. I'd like to start this video, though, by thanking my last remaining brother, Neil, because he was on the front lines of this incident tragedy, but he's always been there. You know, there's times where it's just been me, Neil, and John. That was it. And, you know, he's always been a good role model, you know. And that's where we got a lot of our music thing to, from too, of course, Slayer, Metallica, all that, Misfit, and all that good stuff. But his strong faith has eased him right through this tragedy, and it's eased me through it too. And I appreciate all that he does for us and has done. And me and John, our kids, everybody, really. I mean, Neil's awesome, and he deserves a shout out. Anyway, those that are close to us know what happened to John S. Earlier this year in March, he passed away from medical complications, but this video is going to be pretty much strictly music, because that's really what John was about. All the music for Aliens and Ghosts Live is done by John. He drove me to help me work on the channel. John was a ghost and alien kind of fiend too, just like a music fiend. But yeah, if you knew John, you had to like John, because John was just what they call him, the Switzerland. He was... Nothing really got to him. It was really laid back, mellow, but it's kind of tough, it's been months, but it's hard not to think about him when he's such a big part of your life, and he's always been there. No matter what I've gone through, he's always there. Same with the kids of the S family. He was a big part. It's just music, music, music. That's kind of all we are. It's kind of all we've ever been. So we're going to go through a lot of music today on this video. I hope you appreciate it, and hopefully there's some things you haven't heard about John or some of the music. But every time we had a chance, when we did have a chance, because you lead your separate lives, but whenever we got back together and he had a guitar and I had some drums, it was time to get it on. Don't matter, just keep practicing. That was the funnest thing about it. It's just didn't really matter. We just try whatever and just have fun doing it. That's part about music and creating. That's one other thing I really appreciated about John. To be a creator and just come up with something out of thin air is cooler than anything, really. But like I said, it was basically bred into us from the very start. My dad has always been a musician, and since he was 6 or something ridiculous, he was strumming acoustic guitar out there on a farm. I mean, it's insane. And it's kind of the same as Johnny. Had at least probably a dozen bands, but he could play multiple instruments too. And bass, guitar, flute, piano. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's just lack of better words, I guess, just a music playing hippie. But he was a really mellow person, just like John, just really laid back, just a really good, cool spirit, that's for sure. But I want you guys to check out this song my dad wrote to his wife, the Grady Stafford Band, extension 303. you guys enjoyed that clip of 303. Yeah, he's got a different kind of singing voice. He's got kind of a smooth voice, I think. Like I said, he played all the tracks on that besides, of course, the backup vocals there. But another big influence we all had, me, John, and everybody in our family, was, of course, he called him Boz, Mike B. So he came into our life, I must have been, 8 years old. His dad, Jerry, and of course he had Mike. So right there I gained the best bonus dad and bonus brother you could ever even dreamed for, paid for, or anything. And then, of course, I got another wonderful sister too. They were both all real supportive of John, extremely. Mike was he's always been into music. I mean, since we met him, it was Iron Maiden. You know, you guys got to get a guitar or do something. You know, don't sit around and hit a drum or do anything. You know, it's pretty funny. But he was the big cheese, though. He had hookups. He had connections. He'd rub some elbows. Next thing you know, he's in the company of like some big wigs, like music and industry and producers. Like, holy cow, man. I mean, he had recording studios. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But Mike was a killer brother. I know that. I know he was an awesome dad. He was a good son. I know that too, because I was there. And we lost him too in January of this year. So it's very tragic, but another beautiful person, man, just solid gold. And he'll be missed, I know, for infinity too. But his influence on John was really impactful on John anyway, because it just drove him, you know. Like, whatever we were doing, he would always try to prop you up, you know what I mean? Even if you weren't ready, it was like, you sure? Here, I got a whole stadium ready. I got 20,000 people. Get out there and just play something. I know you guys know at least something. I mean, he'd put you on the spot, but that was good, because under pressure, sometimes you get the best results. But yeah, I just wanted to mention him because he was a good, big influence on John as far as music. I mean, since he was 8 years old. But he'll be missed, and he is loved too. Yeah, but John, he just loved playing, man. I mean, band after band. If you find anybody not anybody, but you know what I mean? One of his close friends, one of our close, you know, kids, when we were kids, friend, you know, Travis Anderson here. Him and Billy Herr, unfortunately. Billy's passed away too, tragic incident there. But yeah, Billy, Trav, and John. It's like the jam, like I said, John played in a lot of bands, you know, Third World War, Diecast, this, that, you know, with his brother-in-law, you know, friends. I mean, John's just all about music. But it's funny back then, though, because we would try to come up with riffs, and of course we'd write them down, you know, old school times, or boom, write it all down and be like, scribble that out, okay, add that riff, do this, do that 4 times, you know. It's just like, really, I guess that's just the way he did it. We didn't have the computers, or we could just dress it up on a computer screen and just push it in, and, or, you know, or just do it by hand. But that was cool times. I remember working out plenty of riffs with John. They eventually evolved more and more and more into some pretty good songs, like the Face of Death was one of John's favorite songs, and I know everybody that did play it with him, he tried to make it pretty complicated. I mean, John was a hell of a rhythm guitarist, you know. I mean, he was good in leads too, you know. It's just, he just really stepped that rhythm up and just really make it complex. But he loved it, and he loved singing too, you know. I don't know how much singing you guys heard, but you're gonna hear some here of John straight up just singing. But yeah, he loved wailing the guitar and singing, that's for sure. And I'll never forget, I mean, I still hear it in my head because I played with him so many times. I can still hear him just, yeah, some people call it screaming, you know, some people call it just whatever, but I call it singing. So it's pretty awesome. But here's a Garage Day recording of Face of Death. I hope you guys enjoyed that version of Pace to Death. Yeah, we had a lot of fun in there. I mean, yeah, that's the fun thing about improvising. You just keep wailing, you keep working it out better and better and better. But yeah, it's just really fun. But here, I want you guys to check out this. This is a Garage Days version of Red Eyes. Alright, cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that version of Red Eyes. Yeah, it's just fun, man. John just cutting loose, you know. Yeah, John loved to play. Another group who was in, I'm not sure, you know, if you guys know, but there's a band called Blood Culture. And that once again had Travis Anderson on bass, John Wells on drums, and John S. playing guitar and vocals. So I'm just going to let this is just an EP, so it's only 6 short songs, but it's a good display of John's singing and guitar. That's why I want to just let this one rip, because I want you guys just to enjoy this if you've never heard it.
If you have something to confess, do it now. Give yourself some peace. Crock of shit.
Alright, Killer, I hope you guys enjoyed that display of John there singing and guitar grinding there on the Blood Culture. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I mean, a lot of the songs we worked on a lot, and it just evolved into that, and it's pretty cool. They did a good job on that. Yeah, and you know, Johnny Baldwin, and of course, anybody knows him, he ended up in a band called Murderfly, which was a really solid band there. But it was part of John's dream to, like, I remember he'd always say he wants to play at Devil's Stadium and he wants to do this and that, Zig or Slayer or something. But it's funny because not many people could say it, but he pretty much nipped that in the bud just about. But they got raised up. You know, that's another thing Boz helped him push for that show with Murderfly up on an opening stage for Danzig, and that was a killer show. You know, White Pale Horse, Zig, and then of course you had Doyle, Wolfgang Van Frankenstein there. But that was huge to John, man. Danzig was huge on John's list, and Misfits, because yeah, we grew up with a lot of punk music, definitely Misfits and all the classics, you know, Sex Pistols, Dead Kennedys, a lot of punk, Ramones. John's, I think it's where he got a lot of his rhythm guitar, you know, a lot of that down pick, and he was kind of like a little Wolfgang, I think, too. He'd look at the guitar like it did something wrong. And I was like, geez, what the hell did that thing do to you? And he just down pick it to oblivion, and then he'd down. It's hurting my hand for some reason, but yeah. That was an awesome show. One of their favorites, one of the fans' favorites anyway, is B.M.F. Bad Motherfucker. So why don't you guys kick back and watch a little bit of that Bad Motherfucker.
Charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost sheep. And I will strike down upon
Who wants a free t-shirt?
vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother. And you will know my name alone when I lay my fingers upon them. Yeah! Bad motherfucker, loading up my Glock. I've got a 12-gauge shotgun, loaded and cocked. Get your man if I'm loaded. I'm no street drunk, no. I am the baddest motherfucker you will ever meet. I'm a bad motherfucker, loading up my Glock. Got a 12-gauge shotgun, loaded and cocked. I am the best motherfucker you will ever That motherfucker loaded up my blood to this fucking shotgun, loaded and clubbed, and too active for rolling. I'm a bad motherfucker and you didn't know it. Come on, please and test me. Come on, please and test me. Come on, please, test me. I'm a bad motherfucker, loading up my blood. Got a 12-gauge shotgun, loaded and clubbed. I am the baddest motherfucker. Motherfucker, loading up my Glock. I've got a 12-gauge shotgun, loaded and cocked. Get your hand if I'm rolling on your street. Just know I am the baddest motherfucker you will ever meet. I'm a bad motherfucker, loading up my Glock. Got a 12-gauge shotgun, loaded and cocked. Murderfly, come see it.
You guys enjoyed that B.M.F. That was a killer song live, man. That was fun. John was a B.M.F. too, boys. John motherfucking Stafford, he ripped that thing up. But yeah, Murderfly, he actually got to do a lot with the Murderfly thing. Like, got to play at the House of Blues, the Hard Rock. You know, there's a lot of big things there. It's little John's bucket list, and that was cool to see him be able to do that, man. And all that. And he was excited too because we wanted to meet Danzig and Doyle Wolfgang Frankenstein, because, you know, I named two of my sons after basically Glenn Danzig and then Doyle Wolfgang Frankenstein. But we did end up getting to meet Doyle, which was awesome. Pictures with him, talking to him. The dude is just like he's just the nicest person, but man, he looks like a demon, just ripped, totally ripped, and just the coolest person, man. Doyle's awesome, man. So pretty awesome. Never forget that. And I hope you never forget this. This is the elevator version of Face of Death. This is just John solo, man. He's just constantly just making music. I mean, you could make music probably with a stick and a piece of string. Dude's awesome. But yeah, enjoy Face of Death.
All in your eyes. Faces
Hope you guys enjoyed that version of the elevator version of Face of Death. But yeah, it's really dialed back there. You can tell, and he's got some cool vocals, man. He liked to sing when he had the chance. But here's another one, another elevator version of Red Eyes.
Way down in your blood, driving you nuts, searching for a feeling. What you don't know, will always be so. So let go of your soul. Alright. Red, 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 red eyes. Red eyes. Red, 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 red eyes. Red eyes. Red, 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 red eyes.
Killer. Hope you guys enjoyed that version of the elevator version of Red Eyes. Yeah, I like this singing there. That's pretty cool. This backup vocals was pretty killer. Yeah, we're gonna lead into something else here. Another little Garage Days version here. Me and John, one of our favorite bands. I'm sure a lot of people's, Misfits. It's one of the. I mean, it's Misfits are just a fun thing to play. It's not technical. It's not all that. It's just just straight up punk. Slap the drum, down pick the guitar, and try to act like you know how to sing a little. I think it's pretty awesome. But London Dungeon, I believe, is the last song me and John I actually played with John before. We were up here, we're 1,000 miles away, and he's down there. But that was, I believe, the last song. It was either one of these two songs. We got London Dungeon and Ghouls Night Out, garage version. hope you guys enjoyed those versions there of the old London Dungeon and Ghouls Night Out. That was a lot of fun though. We just go crazy with it, you know. It don't have to be perfect. That's not what music's about, you know. Language, it's basically the language of the world. That's why music's so awesome. But we just improvise, have a good time, look at each other, because God, you butchered that. You know, how bad can we butcher a song, kind of thing. But yeah, sometimes when we got it dialed in, we'll bring it to another level. But that's just kind of fun and stuff you just never forget. But I hope you guys enjoyed those 2 tracks. Yeah, I just want to say a couple more things before we wrap this video up or start to head in that direction. But it's just funny because there's like 2 sides of John, like a really calm, chilled side, you know, and then there's like you put a guitar in his hand and then you send him up on stage. Next thing you know, it's like God, I didn't even know this dude. I mean, what the hell? You know, he's like just wailing and screaming, like, you know, out of control. That was the coolest thing about John. It was just really chilled, you know, unless there's a bad driver in front of him and he'll cut loose on the horn and start screaming. And I was like, oh my God, dude, you got to calm that down. Or if they're very low on chicken taquitos, he'd throw a fit. And don't even think about getting it before him because it won't be a good lunch break. It was pretty funny stuff. But John was awesome though. He's just a normal person, you know. He wasn't loaded, wasn't rich, but, you know, what he gave was the most important thing. Time, you know, whatever it was, you know, talking, time. Like I said, he's always been there for me, period. There's no deviating from that. I mean, whether it was divorce or going through the stroke I had, he was the one they said made him solid, besides my wife, obviously. But yeah, John was number 2 on that recovery and everything, and he helped tremendously, and we tried to make sure he was taken care of for doing that. But yeah, I'll never forget that. So I want to just lead into, you know, everybody's got their thing, you know. Maybe you're not recognizing or looking at it, but, you know, if you're not feeling too good, you know, if you think something's up, you know, take a look in the mirror, you know. If you know you're having a hard time getting around because of this or that, change it. Change your habits. Do something to make yourself healthier and better, because it's going to be better for people in the long run. But sometimes you're limited. You know, sometimes you don't have a fancy job with insurance that can pay for everything, and sometimes you don't have this, or you don't have people that'll give to help you, even though, you know, it's just a weird deal. But John's the same way though too. It's kind of like the silver cherry theory, you know, that one of these days fat boy kind of thing, you know, just greed and stuff. Just if you got, you know, you should always try to give more than you take, whether it's either way, you know. It's just a good principle. But and John was always like that. Another thing is, you know, make videos, you know, whether you play music or whatever, you know. It could be making French toast or hitting a dog with a stick or chasing a kid around, whatever it is. Take pictures. Try to organize it, because down the road it makes a difference. Especially hearing her voice. That's why I love this video, because I've got tracks of my dad. I can still hear his voice, and then, you know, we're used to seeing John playing guitar, but this got a lot of his voice in it, and I hope you guys, you know, appreciate that, and I hope it remind you of him. Because when we think about it, it's a kind of body on loan theory, you know what I mean? When you peel the skin back, rip that skin off there, and you're standing there or whatever, you're just a spirit. So it don't matter how you dress that skin up. It doesn't matter what kind of car that skin drives around in. It doesn't mean anything if your spirit isn't good. So, like I said, in my opinion, I think John had you know, everybody's got their little, you know, nobody's perfect, obviously, but he was he was up there. I'll never forget that. I mean, it's tough. You know, it's really tough. But, you know, all the people that did know John and, you know, knew John kind of like I did, you know, you would understand. But I do want to give special thanks, because we're in Florida. They're throwing a celebration party for John. I just want a quick shout out and a thanks to my sister Cassie. You're awesome. You know, to stand up like you did when this tragedy happened, to give your time when you're so busy. It's just, we appreciate it so much. you're awesome. That's all I got to say. My sister-in-law Kim too, she's helping with that, obviously. John's wife, and then Mo, which some of you might know Mo, but he's helping with the venue for there, and he's been a friend for a long time. I don't even know since when, probably since 15, so we're talking 30 plus years, and a good friend to John. He's pure gold too, and I'm really glad that he's finally found somebody to share his life with. He deserves it, and I'm sure she does too, and I'm very happy for that. I just thank everybody, obviously, for watching this video. Yeah, we're going to be listening to, in the background here, some of the Chapel by the Sea, which is some of the music John gave me to use however I deem fit for Aliens and Ghosts or whatever, but I just want to end it in a prayer. I want to say I pray for everyone who knew John and loved John to always stay healthy and safe. And I pray to protect all your families from these types of tragedies. May God also give you the strength and wisdom to always help someone in need without judging. Always remember to love eternally, unconditionally, and to remember all this world and all of its possessions is a veneer, it's nothing. Your spirit's the only thing that matters. Period. I mean, it's whatever you think, it's just to make you feel good, you know. I mean, enough's enough, you know. It's better to give and help somebody. I mean, I just pray also that John had been in heaven a half hour before the devil knew he passed away. That we love you, John. Rest in peace, brother. Amen. All right, also, very last thing, I got some shout outs just because I want to, but for one, Dan, Amy, you've always been a good friend to John, and what you're doing there at the end, and, you know, with your store and everything, and John was really into it, man. I hope you prosper, and I hope you just kick it, man. Special shout out to Barry. I'll never forget that PB amp, boy, and that red guitar just to rip on me. Talk about an almost identical obituary. So that was some killer times. But yeah, we were always about music. Richard Wolfsifer, aka Pablo there. Obviously Travis Anderson, you know, good friend. You know, John always loved kicking it with Trav when he wanted to dial that bass in. It's awesome. John Wells, in our family, known them too since junior high, and just a killer musician, period. End of story. And his brother, they just rip. So I see it was just cool that John was able to find John and make some of them tracks. I want to give a special thanks too to Bo, Benny, Tim, and Justin and Murderfly. You guys are killer, man. John just loved you guys, man. He just thought you guys were the stuff, man. And you are. You guys are killer musicians, man. And I got one more. I'm just dialing through the paperwork here. Of course, Jim Dersham. He's been John's friend, our friend for eternity. And, you know, it always catches you on surprise and stuff like that happens and everything. But Jim and Dan, you guys are awesome. I want to thank you all, too, for just being there for John, hanging out with John, knowing John, you know, caring about John, whatever. Just, you guys are awesome too, and I just hope you really dug this video. I'm Mike S, and I'm out.